Most people are grounded, not because they're weak, but because they refuse to think like the eagle. The eagle doesn't fear storms. It doesn't run from pressure. It rises higher. Today, you decide, will you keep crawling or will you finally learn to fly? Step 1. Rise above the noise. There is a moment in every person's life when the battlefield is no longer external. It's internal. The war is not against other people, but against the constant noise that tries to suffocate your purpose. The noise of opinions, doubt, fear, comparison, and distraction. Most people never rise because they are buried under voices that were never meant to guide them in the first place. They listen to crowds that have never climbed. They seek approval from people who fear the very dreams they're chasing. The eagle does not waste its time flapping around with birds who have no desire to leave the ground. The eagle knows that if it stays near the noise long enough, it will begin to think, act, and live like the noise. And so it goes higher, above the gossip, above the doubt, above the chatter that keeps the weak grounded. Rising above the noise is not comfortable. It means letting go of comfort disguised as company. It means creating distance from people who want to keep you small because your growth threatens their stagnation. The eagle understands this instinctively. It doesn't argue with the ground. It simply leaves. The higher it climbs, the fewer voices it hears. The silence at high altitude is not loneliness. It is clarity. It's the space where you can finally hear your own thoughts, feel your true calling, and see the path others are too afraid to explore. When you rise, you begin to understand why the noise was so loud, because it was trying to distract you from realizing how powerful you really are. But rising isn't only about distance from people, it's about distance from your own inner noise. The doubts you replay, the failures you relive, the fears you feed, the excuses you protect. These must be left behind the moment you choose altitude over comfort. Every time you elevate your mindset, the noise loses strength. The voice that once screamed, "You can't," becomes a whisper. The fear that once paralyzed you becomes a stepping stone. The judgment that once trapped you becomes irrelevant. Because once you see the world from above, you understand how small those voices truly are. The eagle rises not to escape the world, but to see it clearly. It rises to gain perspective, to conserve energy, and to position itself for decisive action. The higher it flies, the more control it has, not because the world changes, but because its perspective changes. Step 2. Isolation for clarity. There comes a point when noise is not just around you, it lives inside you. The world constantly pulls at your attention, pushing you to react instead of reflect. Most people surround themselves with company because silence exposes the truth they've been avoiding. But growth demands space, and space demands solitude. The eagle knows this. It doesn't seek validation from the flock. It doesn't wait for another bird to show it the way. It moves into the mountains alone, not out of loneliness, but out of purpose. Isolation is not a punishment, it is a preparation. When you step away from the crowd, you begin to hear the thoughts that matter, not the ones forced upon you. You start to question who you are, what you want, and what you are willing to sacrifice. Clarity does not come from conversation, it comes from confrontation. Confrontation with your own mind, your own weaknesses, your own truth. Isolation strips away the unnecessary, it removes the opinions that cloud your judgment and the distractions that pull you off your mission. In the quiet, you begin to understand what has been slowing you down, the habits that hold you back, the fears you've been feeding, the excuses you defend. Most people avoid this stage because it forces them to face themselves without escape. But the eagle embraces it because it knows that without clarity, movement is meaningless. You can run fast, but if you are running in the wrong direction, speed means nothing. Solitude gives you direction. It gives you the ability to make decisions without being influenced by the weak expectations of others. It allows you to build inner strength, strength that does not need applause to exist. Being alone also reveals the depth of your discipline. When no one is watching, do you stay committed to the mission? Do you train with the same intensity? Do you push with the same hunger? The eagle answers yes, every time. Greatness is not built in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows, where no one is cheering, no one is validating, and no one is telling you that you're doing the right thing. Isolation becomes the forge, where your doubt melts, your vision sharpens, and your character hardens. You stop chasing people. You start chasing purpose. You stop asking for permission. You start creating your own path. In the end, those who fear being alone never discover who they could have become. Those who embrace solitude gain clarity that others will never understand. The eagle does not isolate itself to escape the world. It isolates itself to become strong enough to return and dominate it. Step 3. Unbreakable focus. There is a reason the eagle rarely misses its mark. Its eyes are locked, disciplined, unshaken by movement around it. Where most creatures panic at noise or distraction, the eagle studies, tracks, and commits. It does not split its attention between multiple targets. It chooses one. That level of focus is not accidental. It is survival. In your life, the mission is no different. Most people scatter their energy across too many desires. They want everything, so they commit to nothing. They change their goals every week, shift direction every time something becomes difficult, and then wonder why they never reach the summit. Focus means choosing. Focus means sacrifice. When you say yes to one mission, you say no to 100 temptations. The eagle understands this instinctively. Victory belongs to the one who commits with complete clarity, not the one who divides their attention and hopes luck will carry them. Unbreakable focus requires discipline at a level most people never touch. It means eliminating distraction before it eliminates you. The world is designed to steal your attention, your phone, your comfort, your excuses, the opinions of others. All of them whisper, pull, and distract. Most people allow these voices to lead them off the path, drifting through life without direction. The eagle does not drift. Its gaze remains fixed. When it hunts, it does not look left or right. It does not second guess. It does not hesitate. It waits for the moment, silent, patient, unmoving. That is focus. When you fix your mind on a target, everything else becomes background noise. Obstacles are not excuses. Setbacks are not reasons to quit. They are just terrain to move through. The focused mind cannot be manipulated because it already knows where it is going. This type of focus is built through repetition and control. Day after day, you return to the mission. You train when motivation is gone. You work when no one sees it. You discipline your mind the same way the eagle disciplines its body, through commitment, precision, and relentless truth. You learn to ignore the unnecessary. You stop chasing trends, stop seeking approval, stop chasing comfort. You pursue only what aligns with your objective. Focus becomes your weapon. It becomes the reason you stand alone while others wander. When you refuse to break concentration, even in chaos, you gain an advantage others never experience. The world can try to distract you, slow you, or discourage you, but the target remains locked in your mind. That is how the eagle hunts. That is how it survives. That is how it wins. Step 4. Transformation. Through pain. Pain is not a signal to stop. It is a signal to change. Most people fear discomfort because they mistake it for danger, but the eagle understands that true growth is forged through suffering. When the eagle becomes old, it does not collapse under weakness, it transforms. It tears away its worn beak, rips out its dull talons, and sheds its old feathers. It endures the agony because it knows that without pain, there is no renewal. The process is brutal. It is uncomfortable. It is lonely, but it is necessary. In life, the same principle applies. Every obstacle you face, every failure, every setback is an opportunity to shed what no longer serves you. Pain is the fire that burns away weakness. It strips away fear, excuses, and complacency, leaving only the parts of you that are ready to endure and conquer. Transformation through pain demands courage most people refuse to summon. It is easy to coast, to settle into routines that feel safe. It is easy to avoid challenges, to pretend that comfort is victory. But comfort never reshapes you. Pain does. When you face struggle head-on, you discover the edges of your strength. You learn the depth of your resilience. You confront the parts of yourself you never wanted to see, and you either crumble or grow. Those who embrace the struggle find that their limits are only illusions. Those who avoid it remain weak, forever trapped by fear and hesitation. The eagle does not debate the pain. It endures it. It accepts it as the price of survival and power. The process of transformation is deliberate. The eagle does not change haphazardly. Each action, the tearing, the shedding, the renewal, is intentional. So must your transformation be. Growth without structure is chaos. Pain without purpose is suffering. You must identify what must be broken. Old habits, toxic relationships, self-doubt, laziness, indecision. You must face it fully, endure it, and commit to emerging stronger. Every step is uncomfortable. Every moment tests your will. But each act of courage chisels away weakness and sharpens strength, building a version of yourself that is more focused, more disciplined, and more capable than before. Pain also teaches patience and timing. The eagle does not rush the process. Renewal cannot be forced. It takes time, persistence, and endurance. If you try to skip the discomfort, you will stunt your growth. If you run from struggle, you will remain as you are. But those who accept the journey, embrace the pain, endure the discomfort, push through adversity, experience the kind of transformation that cannot be given, borrowed, or stolen. It must be earned through suffering. Step 5. Attack with precision. The eagle does not hesitate. When opportunity appears, it strikes with flawless timing, flawless aim, and flawless intention. Most people approach life like chaos, scattered, hesitant, uncertain, afraid of making the wrong move. They wait for permission, they wait for clarity, they wait for circumstances to align perfectly, and in doing so, they let opportunity pass by. The eagle does not wait. It observes, it calculates, it prepares, and when the moment arrives, it moves decisively. There is no second guessing, no hesitation, no wasted energy. The strike is singular, focused, and unstoppable. Precision is not an accident. It is the product of discipline, awareness, and readiness. You cannot hope to succeed if you wander aimlessly. You cannot dominate if your action is sloppy. Timing, strategy, and execution are everything. Attacking with precision begins with preparation. The eagle spends hours scanning the landscape, studying the movement of its prey, and understanding the conditions of the environment. When it finally dives, it knows the exact moment to strike, the exact angle, and the exact target that will secure success. In life, the same principle applies. Opportunities are fleeting. If you are not ready, you will miss them. Preparation is relentless. Training, planning, learning, and practicing are what allow you to strike when the moment comes. Hesitation is the enemy. Wasted motion is the enemy. Every step, every decision, every action must be deliberate. Precision is born from the union of knowledge, focus, and courage. The act of striking is also a test of courage. Most people avoid risk because they fear failure. The eagle risks everything each time it dives. It exposes itself to danger, uncertainty, and the possibility of loss. Yet it does not flinch. It trusts in its preparation, in its instincts, and in its commitment to the target. To attack with precision, you must do the same. Fear will attempt to paralyze you. Doubt will try to delay you. Distraction will attempt to confuse you. But the one who moves decisively, who strikes with calculated force, will always seize what others fail to claim. Precision does not tolerate hesitation. Finally, attacking with precision requires clarity of purpose. The eagle does not strike at random. Every move has intention. Every dive has reason. Every moment is accounted for. In life, your goals must be equally sharp. Your mission must be clear. You cannot attack what you do not see. You cannot dominate what you do not understand. When preparation meets courage, when observation meets strategy, and when timing meets focus, the strike becomes unstoppable. Step 6. Dominate your storm. Storms are inevitable. Life will test you, challenge you, and push you to the edge. Most people run from storms, seeking shelter, safety, and comfort. They fear the turbulence, the wind, the pressure, the uncertainty. They fight against the chaos, resist the current, and waste energy trying to control what cannot be controlled. The eagle does not run. It does not fight the storm. It rises into it, spreads its wings, and uses the power of the storm to lift itself higher. The storm is not the enemy. It is a force to be harnessed. Those who dominate the storm understand this principle. Adversity is fuel. Resistance is opportunity. Every gust of wind that threatens to knock you down can also carry you above the reach of those who cower below. The storm separates the timid from the relentless, the weak from the strong, the ordinary from the extraordinary. To dominate your storm, you must first embrace it fully. Accept that life will challenge you. Accept that pain, setbacks, failure, and uncertainty are not interruptions. They are part of the climb. The eagle does not waste energy wishing the storm away. It focuses on its wings, its position, its movement. It makes adjustments, adapts, and thrives in conditions others would call impossible. In the same way, you must build resilience, sharpen your instincts, and refine your strategy to handle the unexpected. The storm will test your patience, your endurance, and your will. Every blow, every setback, every obstacle is designed to measure how committed you are to rising. To dominate, you cannot resist the storm. You must integrate it into your journey, letting its force propel you forward rather than backward. The eagle also understands timing and perspective in the storm. It knows when to dive, when to soar, and when to ride the wind. Most people panic, flail, and exhaust themselves against the currents, losing sight of their goals in the chaos. The eagle, however, remains calm. It uses the storm to gain height, to scout, and to position itself for decisive action. Similarly, when your life is turbulent, clarity and discipline are your greatest allies. Focus on what you can control, adapt to what you cannot, keep your eyes on the horizon while navigating the tempest. Every gust of wind becomes an opportunity to rise faster, to see further, and to strike with greater power. Domination comes from mindset. It comes from courage. It comes from refusing to be victimized by circumstance. The storm is not a roadblock. It is a test, a proving ground, and a launch pad. Those who rise into the wind, who harness its energy, who maintain control amid chaos, become unstoppable. The storm that breaks most people only sharpens those who are willing to master it. Inside you is the power of the eagle, relentless, focused, unstoppable. Rise above the noise, embrace the storm, and attack your goals with precision. The sky is not the limit, it's your battlefield. Fly higher, strike harder, become unstoppable.